and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly horoscope. My name is Terence Scardino. Well, Mercury's in retrograde, as I've been discussing, until May the 3rd. It's a time of misunderstandings and miscommunications. But it's also a time to review, retool, re-edit. You've heard the mantra. Now, Mercury on Monday, April the 24th, is going to be an excellent aspect to pragmatic Saturn. Ordinarily, this is, when Mercury is direct, would be an excellent business day, or a day of making very serious or very grounded, practical decisions, where you could be, your mind could be really steady and focused, and you're able to concentrate, whether this is studying, speaking, writing, and certainly business negotiations. But Mercury is retrograde. So what I'm suggesting is don't start any new businesses, but you could begin, but if you hear of a good idea that's offered to you, this might be the perfect day to begin researching and not making any sudden decisions. But I think this is, what's going to happen more often than not, is old ideas, previous expectations, other, previous offers, before Mercury went retrograde on April the 9th. Now, with the Mercury retrograde excellent with Saturn, this is a time of maybe starting to take it to the next step, to start to solidify it, do some refining. But it's a good day that whatever had been troubling you and you had confused about with Mercury retrograde, the mind is being more steadied. Now, this is also a very important week because there's a new moon on Wednesday, the 26th. And this new moon is in Taurus. Taurus is this sign of routine and steadiness and wants to be firmly grounded. It can be, since it's a very earthy sign, it can be trigger very sensual energies, creative energies. But once a month, when there is a new moon, it's the beginning of a new cycle. And this cycle will depend on how Taurus influences your particular horoscope. But those 4 or 5 days prior to the new moon is not the time to begin anything new. It's the time of resolving and wrapping up from the previous new moon. And with Mercury in retrograde, this could also be like that Monday into Tuesday, kind of resolving and any kind of issues that had been confused or troubling about bringing it to a conclusion. So on Wednesday and over those next several days, this is when you are starting to focus on some new directions. But Mercury is retrograde, so not the best time to be really committing and acting on any of these new ideas or opportunities. But some could start coming in that Wednesday over that next week. You just want to be really prepared, that you really studied it. You maybe ask for a couple of different opinions from people, and then act on it after May the 3rd. But you'll still be in that new moon cycle of Taurus. On Friday, right after the new moon, Mercury, still retrograde, is aligning with Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener. Mercury to Uranus can trigger these sudden insights. It triggers original thinking out of the box. But Mercury is retrograde. So this might mean that some brilliant idea or some new technique or new technology that you were interested in, but you didn't really pursue it, or maybe you were overwhelmed by it, or everything was just too fast. Now we're in steady Taurus new moon territory, and the Mercury is retrograde, so we can go back to any of these new opportunities and ideas and reawaken them. Also, Venus is been in Pisces. It had retrograded back into Pisces, a sign that it really likes to be in. It's a sign of exaltation. So there's an opportunity here, particularly with the Mercury in retrograde, to have done a lot of healing and forgiving. But the Venus is now direct as of the 15th of April, and it's leaving Pisces and moving into energetic Aries, fiery Aries. And this is more of an overall energy of being more social, more outgoing. And Venus rules the sign Taurus. So there's a lot of this, more this adventure with friends, with relationships, even with expressing yourself creatively. So the wheels are turning inside of you, but when it comes to making any important promises, commitments, etc., wait until Mercury goes direct after May the 3rd. Before I sign off, let me remind you, I'm one of the astrologers on astrologyanswers.com's website. That's available for a one-question offer for a nominal fee. And the time of birth is most important if you can find it. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week for my next segment. Until then, have a great week.